We are learning more Americans could soon be eligible for a booster shot. Pfizer is expected to ask federal officials to authorize its booster for adults 18 and older. Now, this move is an attempt to provide added protection ahead of the holiday season. Right now, Pfizer's boosters are only approved for adults 65 and older, as well as those with underlying health conditions or those at high risk because of their jobs. The push to get more Americans another dose coming as the battle over vaccine mandates heats up. The Justice Department saying it plans to, quote, vigorously defend President Biden's mandate, which would force companies with 100 or more employees to require vaccinations or weekly testing. An appeals court putting the rule on hold over the weekend, calling into question its constitutionality. Now, a sticking point here. The mandate was developed by OSHA, a federal agency, and not the legislature.
Congress empowered OSHA through a law that has been in the books for more than 50 years. So this is an authority that we believe the Department of Labor has.
Vaccine mandates in workplaces are a highly contentious issue. The Kaiser Family Foundation poll found 37% of workers say if vaccines were required by their employer, they would leave their job. 46% say they'd rather undergo weekly testing if it was offered. Now, if the employer didn't offer weekly testing, more than 70% say they would quit. A vaccine mandate for United Airlines has been given the go-ahead. A federal judge ruling the air carrier can place employees on unpaid leave if they refuse to get the jab. Now, a half dozen employees had sued the airline, calling the mandate one of the strictest in the industry. United says employees with a medical or religious exemption can still apply non-customer facing roles. Meanwhile, other airlines are setting dates for their employees to show proof of vaccination. American's deadline is January 4th. The airline hasn't said how many employees are vaccinated, but the union representing the company's pilots told ABC News 2 weeks ago that more than a quarter of their members were unvaccinated.
I don't know how many will choose to get the vaccination, but when they do, they cannot fly 2 days after that vaccination. And if they have a reaction that goes further, they've got to come off the schedule. So that puts a strain on the schedule already, which is built right to the maximum.
And questions about vaccinations aren't only being brought to airlines, they're being brought to the TSA as well. Now, those employees fall under a federal deadline requiring they be vaccinated by November 22nd. The agency hasn't said how many of its workers are vaccinated, but as of 3 weeks ago, 40% had not received a shot. ABC News reports those employees will be called in to meet with their supervisors. They'll be given a warning, and if they continue to refuse the shot, they will be subject to termination.